from the industry through the community, right into your home. It's the Green Room, and we're on. What's going on, everybody? It's Les from Cannabis Wiki. I'm here with the North American Cannabis Flower. That's right, that girl in my docket. Yeah, I said it. Jackie Childs. What's popping?
What's percolating, Lester? I'm good. I don't know. I think I'm good. I'm good because I'm high and I'm funny and well, I mean, I think I'm funny. Anyhow, I'm good. I'm excited to talk with our guest today. Really excited because there's lots of stuff going on and she's always cool to chat with. And I'm glad that we can do this virtually because I still feel like ass. So it's there's so much shit thanks to COVID, but there's also some pretty cool stuff too. There's a lot of, there's a lot of cool movements. There's a lot of cool things happening as far as an industry. And I don't know, maybe we didn't need the things that we were holding so dear before.
It's time to reflect, that's for sure. So, always at the top of our show, we like to thank everybody out there doing their part, helping flatten the curve, because we don't need any more rules from any more municipalities telling us what we can and can't do. We are all functional to respect one another and wash your motherfucking hands. You know how it is, how we do, right? So today, what's that? What are you saying?
Sorry. I was going to say, when can we shower? We can wash our hands, but when can we shower?
Oh man! Well, you get the blessing because if for those of you that don't know, Jackie is suffering through a flare up with Crohn's. As you know, she suffers from Crohn's, but she still has the strength to be with us today to do our show. We have an exclusive today with a special guest that we always like to chime in with and chop it up. One of our favorites. We have many, but she is one of our favorites out in Vancouver, BC. So we'd like to welcome.
Savvy Stone Girls is her favorite, but he just wants to play it all nice, and she's one of them.
Hey, listen, there's so many fantastic people out here, man. I just have to point out some of my very, very special ones. And, she, every time when we went to BC and she saw me, she instantly, hey, Lester, let's go have a sesh outside. So we could jam and talk openly, freely. You know what I mean? So I like that kind of shit. I like to work with my peeps. Yes. What's going on?
What's up? Don't worry, I love you too, Lester. You both are my favorites.
we greatly appreciate it.
Hey, remember when Savvy Stone Girl thought it was my show?
Holy fuck. How did I know?
Did you see how I said it this morning? I said Lester face this morning specifically.
Yes, that's true.
Greatly appreciated.
I saw that. I heard it. Sorry.
Greatly appreciated. Thank you very much. So what's happening? We know some crazy things have been happening out there in Vancouver. So we wanted to connect with you, Jackie and I, to see, to get your story of what's popped off other than what people have seen in the news. So gladly tell us and the guests out here what has been going on.
So I'm going to correct you first. We're in Victoria, actually. I'm based out of Victoria on Vancouver Island. I work for the Victoria Cannabis Buyers Club, which is one of the oldest compassion clubs in our country, founded by Ted Smith. And we were once again raided a week ago today. Right about now, actually, they were in the store. I got a post on Facebook an updated status from Ted saying that the CSU was there raiding the club. So I think you guys have known I've been off work for about 5 months now because I'm having my own stomach problems. So right around COVID, I went off, but I raced down to the club because the first time we were raided, I was right in their front lines, yelling at cops, giving them my ID. They have my fucking phone number. So I was like, they're going to let me in. Like, who really cares? So I went in and they had 3 cops standing at the door, literally blocking anyone from coming in. They had, again, made people ID themselves that were wanting to stay in the store. So my manager and another coworker stayed in the store, but they wouldn't let me in. It was bullshit. They let Ted in when he came, so that was good, but it was very much more quiet this time. Last time they were letting people go in and out. This time they had the doors completely locked. I don't think they wanted me to live stream everything like I did last time, but I did from the outside. So basically they took everything. They hit us very unexpectedly this time because we've been in talks with the CSU. We've been in talks with our local government. The city of Victoria supports us. They wrote.
Yeah, can you explain to us who is the CSU?
Oh, yes. So each province has been given the authority to create whatever rules basically they want around cannabis and how to enforce it. So the province of BC has created this community task force, or the community safety unit is what they call them. It is the most disgusting name, first of all. They're keeping nobody safe. So the community safety unit comes in escorted by the police because they do have authority more than police. Like, they don't need a warrant to come into your space. They can just come in, but they need the police to back them up. It's really weird. I don't personally understand all of it. I don't know why the police have to be there if they have that authority. It just seems like a lot of wasted taxpayer money. But yeah, so they're the task force. They came around right after legalization with little pamphlets that said, this is how to apply for a recreational license. We explained to them, we are not recreational at all. We're going through different channels to try and figure this out. They basically told us, we don't care, shut down. So we didn't, obviously. And so they came back November last year, the first raid. They got about $25,000 worth of stuff. We were actually able to get back from the community all of that. So that was amazing. This time, however, they got close to 50 grand worth of shit. They found one of our stash spots that had all of our weed. They did miss a lot of things in store, which was kind of funny. Like, they missed all our vape cartridges and like some other little diamond stuff, but they got a lot this time.
So now it was a surprise. Is there fines that are incurred with that as they come and do these raids?
So technically, yes, but we haven't received anything, which is why this raid came as such a surprise. After the first raid, we received a receipt from the CSU, literally documenting everything that they took from us, but with no price or numbers associated with it. It was just like a 6-page essay of shit that they took from us. Right. When Ted sent them an email, because Ted got the city to send the province a letter and the CSU a letter asking for permission to have more discussions about us and to also not have any enforcement action taken during the discussion. To which we got no response, except for the CSU did send us a letter a few months ago stating the province can't do much. We need to go to the feds because it's federal government that overrules medical cannabis. So that was the last letter we got, but it didn't, again, say anything about enforcement action. It didn't say anything about fines. It didn't say anything about shutting down. It said nothing. But friendly-ish stuff. And then boom, in the middle of a pandemic, they decide to come in.
That is something.
You guys had no warning, no clues, no little email, nothing. Nope. They just came in.
Nope.
Is there any criminal charges made?
No, not as of yet. I don't think anyone's been criminally charged in BC yet. The only person that I know that's gotten a fine is Trees Dispensary, which is another local one in Victoria here. They were raided, all 3 of their locations were raided right before we were. So I think it was October of last year, to which they got $1 million fine.
Wow.
What? So,
now, are they recreational or medical?
They are recreational. So I feel like they were kind of being made the example of, which is why they haven't given us the charge yet. Because A, they're going to make themselves look like dumbasses more than they already do. But we're fighting everything so much more than anyone. Like, they were just going about their business selling illegal recreational weed for better prices than the government. But they got $1 million fine. And the worst part about getting a fine, this is how the process goes if you were to get a fine. You have 30 days originally to decide whether you want to accept the fine and pay half of it, or you don't accept the fine and you fight it in court, but it's not a real court. You are arguing against the director of the CSU, who is Mike Farnworth, who is the Minister of Public Safety in our province. So you literally are asking for permission to not pay a fine from the guy that gave you the fine.
Oh, ew. Sticky.
So they actually got exposed for that, and they changed it from 30 days to 45 days. I don't know if that's much better to decide your whole life. Because that's what Alex was saying. Alex Robb was who was charged. And he's like, that's not a lot of time to decide the rest of my life. $1 million fine, that fucks me forever. $500,000 fine, that fucks me for a good amount of time. So yeah, it's interesting. But as of now, the second raid a week later, we still don't have a fine. So I don't know.
And you're back in business. They're back open and they're back in business.
Oh yeah, we reopened the next day at 4:20. We had a rally at the legislature at noon and then reopened at 4:20.
So devil's advocate here, why not go legal? Why not? Isn't there channels, or isn't there, or there just, what's the barrier to entry, or what's the resistance to entry? I mean, I have my own personal opinions, but go on.
Yeah, for sure. So the resistance would be, first off, the edibles. Like for myself, I eat thousands of milligrams of edibles a day. We sell a chocolate bar. I always like to go to this example. We sell a 750 milligram chocolate bar for $25. It is made with the best Belgian chocolate. It has hardly any sugar in it compared to legal options. If I were to eat the same amount of dose in legal chocolate, I would have to spend close to $1,000. I would have to eat 16,000 grams of sugar. I would have to consume 30,000 calories, to which, if you're eating that much chocolate, your body actually will go into shock from an iron overdose.
Wow.
So that in itself, it's not in the best interest for patients. Like, we have a lot of very, very sick people at our club, myself being one of them. And if it wasn't for the high dose capsules for the cheap prices, like our lowest capsule is 60 cents a capsule. And so we have people come in and buy one single capsule, and that's their sleep for the night, because that's all they can afford from, let's say, returning cans as a homeless person and getting change back to come and buy your one capsule, right? So in the legal system, you need a debit card or a credit card to access the medical system. You need to have a computer or access to internet. You need to be computer literate. A lot of the homeless population or the drug addicted population don't fit any of those requirements. So it's leaving out a huge gap of people, like a massive gap of people that are needing it the most. So what the club does, you can come in with fucking a quarter, literally a quarter, and we'll give you another quarter and give you a fucking capsule. Like, we have a little pay it forward jar that everybody donates into. And if you don't have $1, we're going to give you $1. Something like that, right? There's nothing in the legal scheme that does anything even close to what we do. We also answer questions about the medicine in relation to what your problems are. Like, Jackie, if you or I went to a store and said, my stomach's having a flare up, I'm really not feeling well, what can you recommend to me? They can't. They're not allowed to recommend anything for pain or for anxiety or for whatever the fuck we need it for. They can just say, oh, this one will make you feel good.
Right.
So, like, there's really nothing like the club. And because the government has left out such a marginalized community, the club has to pick up its pieces.
I totally get it. I understand. I mean, I've just been dabbling in, I'm doing some research myself, and I actually have been going to some dispensaries, local dispensaries, and buying some edibles and buying some of their weed, and just so I can check, is it always crap? Is it always shit? Is it always, but you're right. Do you know how much money I would have to spend to actually help with my Crohn's on chocolate bars? It would probably make me pretty sick. It was supposed to be helping me. And yeah, like, the chocolate is delicious and it's yummy or whatever, but it's $8 to $10 for 10 milligrams. 10 milligrams doesn't do anything when it comes to Crohn's medicinally. And I mean, I'm not a big person. I have friends that are with Crohn's that are smaller that eat way more than I do. And the amount of money that they would have to spend on these. So I totally get the recreational side, okay, recreational, but the medicinal side is really lost. Like there's a lot of barriers. There's a lot of sort of parts of this puzzle that are just totally missing. So
yeah, the other big disconnect is in the regulations. You can't have your own production facility and your own retail storefront. So for the last 24 years, the club has been making their own capsules, their own cookies, their own oils, their own everything. And technically, if we were to just transition right now, we'd have to give up one or the other. So either the people couldn't get the meds from the place that they're used to, or we can't make the meds that they're used to, which neither of those is fair to the people that have been using this for 4 years. So we definitely want to comply. Don't get me wrong. We want to comply. We don't want to be getting raided twice a year. It is no fun for anyone. Like I slept for 12 hours after this last raid. I was so fucking mad yelling at people that I literally came home and slept for 12 hours. So it's not like we want this, but we also don't want our patients to suffer more than they already are. We will only transition when it's in the best interest of the patients.
So how is it in Vancouver? How is it in Vancouver with medical cannabis? How is that going with the municipalities? Because we see what's going on with BC, right? And I'm sure there's other establishments that are facing hardship. So what is it with the municipalities?
Pretty much everything has been shut down in Vancouver medical wise. I know a bunch of people that have had to close their doors because of the CSU. I think the only person that is still operating, but it's not strictly medicinal, I don't believe anymore, but Dana Larson's dispensary. He still has a location going in Vancouver, but everyone else that was doing it gray market has gone online or has eliminated their storefronts and is doing a delivery service or something like that. But as for medical, it's very hard to find strictly medical anything.
So you would say then COVID's had a harsh effect on the cannabis world in Vancouver?
COVID and our government, yeah. The legal shops all seem to be doing fine.
Can you believe they think now, so where we're all like mental health is like at the forefront. We're all suffering from PTSD. Every one of us right now have some form of PTSD, anxiety, depression, whatever it is, on some level. You can't be in a pandemic and with the racial tensions and the way the world is, this movement, this shift. You can't be not feeling it. And then somebody thinks it's a good time to go in and raid people that can't afford to get this elsewhere or don't have access to it elsewhere, but need it to get from Monday to Tuesday. Like absolutely literally proven.
It's literally the saddest thing. It just shows what the government's priorities are and who they really care about. And we have about 150 to 200 people come through our doors every day. So that was almost 300 people, because we were closed for a day and a half, that didn't get their medicine. Right. Ted was walking down the street to go move his car the day that we were reopening. Or no, sorry, the day that we were closed. And he saw one of our members trying to purchase cannabis off of the street in like the homeless area, because that's the only choice that they have other than coming to the club. It was right back to the streets. What's going to happen if this person that's been clean off of drugs for whatever the fuck amount of time, now they can't get their cannabis, which is the only thing that's been keeping them off the fucking heroin? Pardon my French, it gets me riled up. Yeah. But now this person is going back and shooting up because they can't get the only thing that's keeping them off the drugs. Like one of my very best friends actually is going through heroin withdrawals right now. And I've been making chocolates out the yin yang. I've been delivering him bud. Like I've been bringing him everything fucking weed and just like throwing it at him. And you know what? He's been sober for another 3 weeks. Like this shit works. And the fact that they're taking the direct source of downtown Victoria, which has been made an opioid crisis red zone, it's fucked.
Yeah.
Well, I want to put this out here. Go ahead, Jack. I can wait. Go ahead. No,
I was going to say, like, is there a way that Ted, Mr. Vancouver Buyers Club, is there a meeting? Is there a possible way that government and him could meet, or legislate somehow they could meet, come together and move forward? Or is it too late now because of all the raids and the charges and the rest? Like, is now he on one side of the fence always, and they're always going to be on the other side of the fence? Or is there a way that they can come together and move forward?
So I believe there is a way we can come together with a resolution. There hasn't actually been any arrests or charges laid against Ted or anyone. So there hasn't been a fine or anything. So everybody knows who Ted is. Like, it's no secret in this city or in this province or probably in this country on their radar who Ted is. Right. He's very open and blatant about what his reasons are. And we've actually had conversations. So my aunt is actually in politics. She's running for the leader of the BC Greens right now. So we've had conversations with her and her campaign manager and things like that. We haven't gotten anything out of it yet because the COVID. But we have had talks. The next level we're going to ask the city council and the mayor to talk to Health Canada and then also put it forward to the federal government. So
I have to ask because, and I want to put this out there because from time in the cannabis world, smoking weed, Vancouver, British Columbia has been craft central for cannabis way before the thought of even legalization. So I have to ask, the craft world, the originators, the founders, are they being pushed out? Are we seeing the beginning of the end of craft? Are they taking a bigger hit than we've seen before?
I think that it's a transition period right now. When legalization first happened, I said it was going to be 3 to 5 years till we get our industry back. We're only in year 2, and people are having talks about craft cannabis in our province. Whether the regulations are going to be put forth just like how they are with the first round of rules, I hope not. But our premier, John Horgan, has been talking about helping craft cannabis in one way or another, but seems like everything he says is bullshit. So I know, like I mentioned before, a lot of people are going online. There's a lot of support online for the craft business, but as for getting licensed, it's still an arm and a leg. So if you're just a mom and pop that's been growing for yourselves and your buddies and you're like, oh, I want to get into the industry, like that's not how it's going to work. So
tough.
We'll see. I know that the support, like the community support for what it is, I feel like a lot of the people that are buying legal are the people that didn't really try it before. Like in BC, when legalization happened, we had each province sold like from 500,000 to 2 million to 4 million in the first week of legalization. BC sold 40 grand. Like literally 40 grand. So it was like, it's not our thing. BC, like we've all got a buddy that grows down the street, or like someone or he knows someone. Prices are going up. Shit's getting crazy around here. Like I used to pay 13, 14 a pound. Now shit's going up to like 18, 19, 22 again. So
why is that?
Industry, people are shipping it to the States and Europe, I keep hearing.
Okay.
But also because it's crazy around here, it's harder to do anything. So things are getting more risky again. More risk, more reward.
So do we know, we won't know if there's a raid happening again any day soon? Like, did they just spring it on you? They just happen. You get no warning.
Or no warning. Like no.
Raids can only happen every 3 months, or raids can only happen. Like, is there a rule? Because I would hate to get all my shit back and get my doors open and get my supply going again, and then it happens again. Like,
Yeah. So that leads me to this question then. So you're saying that I forget what they are, CS, that community service. Yes, they do not need a warrant to enter your establishment?
Excuse me.
No.
1 second.
They could just walk right in. The first time they came in, I was sitting at distro right at the front door, and she literally walked up. It was the head of she seems like she's always there. It's this woman, I forget her name, but she just walked right up and was like, "Hi, I'm here to see Ted Smith." And I was like, "I know who you are." And I just walked away and went and got Ted and grabbed him and brought him back over. But by that time, they had 6 other CSU agents and 6 to 8 cops in there. So they just like walked right in and they're like, "We're here." And then once they're in, you basically have to listen to them.
Because normally with a warrant, they would need, what is that, Jackie? Like three months before they could come back again and possibly do the same thing. So with these guys not having a warrant,
I thought there was a time frame. Yeah, like they can just keep coming. They can just keep hitting you and keep hitting you and keep hitting you.
As far as I know, yes, because when it happened to Trees, they raided 2 of their locations day after day, like back to back. They raided their downtown location and then they raided their midtown location. I don't know if it's different because it's the same company, but it was 2 different locations. But it seems like the province has given them jurisdiction to do whatever the hell they want.
Right.
So
in Toronto, we had, I think it was Cafe that was raided a couple times, and then they ended up in Ontario. They ended up putting the cinder blocks in front. Remember that? So
yeah,
I saw that.
And then the government or the police or whoever the hell it is put the cinder blocks there in front, and then they just opened again with like folding chairs and picnic table in front of the cinder blocks. Like it was a showdown. It was a definite showdown. There's a lot going on there. I mean, I would once upon a time say play by the rules, pay your taxes and follow the rules and go about things the way they are. Since just before COVID, I have completely changed the way I think about a lot of things. And especially now knowing and understanding medical cannabis and my need to live with medical cannabis, I couldn't imagine the barriers. I'm very, very fortunate, and I'm very blessed to be able to access what I need when I need it. And I've even gone through those stupid channels where getting my prescription and doing my whatever. I need my stuff today, not 3 weeks from now. I don't want to, as much as it's all fabulous, I can't, when you go to pick up your prescription, you need you're sick today. You're not, not 3 weeks from now. So I understand the frustrations in the way the medical system works here in Ontario. Anyway, it's a nightmare. It's a disaster. And then you're right. Then we're going to our dispensaries because there's one on every corner now, and we're asking some 19-year-old kid what 1-to-1 or what CBD or what should I smoke or what should I, and it's a mess. So
what does Ted say?
What does he say? Is he never going to play by the rules?
Mm-hmm.
So we play by a few rules. Like everybody thinks we don't pay taxes. We pay our taxes every year. Like we pay GST. We have a massive GST folder, file, whatever you want to call it. Like we do all of our taxes. The only thing that we don't do legally is we don't purchase shitty radiated fucking weed from the government, and we sell higher dose edibles than we should. But we've already won the fight. Like in 2015, Ted and the club won the constitutional challenge to make edibles and extracts legal for medicinal patients anyways. Like, I think they're forgetting that we already won a major fucking thing in our country for medical patients. So it's not like we're not going to win this again. It's going to take time. We're obviously not abiding by the rules now, but we want to. Ted says it too. We want to, but only when it's the best interest of our absolute sickest patients. Like the saddest thing ever was when we were raided, little cancer patient, old ladies are standing outside the door like, can I have my medicine today? And we're like, no, sweetie, like tomorrow, like we'll be open at 4:20, come back tomorrow. And they're like, oh, I hope I can get down here tomorrow. I'm really not feeling well. Like it's so fucked. So when that little old lady can have whatever the hell she wants from us, then we'll comply.
So that's kind of crazy. So you're saying you guys won a case back in, was it 2015?
Mm-hmm.
Now,
yeah, so
I guess what? Yeah. So it makes me wonder, is there a time stipulation on that?
I don't know. I don't think so. When like laws are easier to change once they've already been put in place, is what Ted said. It's easier to change a law than it is to create a new law. So what they did was our baker got charged. Owen Smith got charged, no relation to Ted, got charged in 2009. It went all the way to the Supreme Court of Canada and was charged as a constitutional rights challenge, saying that it wasn't constitutionally right for medicinal users to only be able to smoke cannabis. It is technically the most detrimental to your health. You don't get as much of the anti-inflammatory effects. You don't get the whole body relaxation. Well, some strains you do. You know what I mean. But basically, the judge struck it down and found that it was unconstitutional. So that's why online, the medical community has been able to have capsules and chatter and shit like that. That's why it started being legal for and RSOs, things like that, right? But 2015 was when it all changed. But they still, like the city of Victoria, never had a problem with us. That's why we've been operating for 24 years. Like the Victoria Police used to bring their rookies into the club and be like, this is the place we don't fuck with. Literally. So now that the bureaucrats at the provincial and federal level have decided that we're not okay, all this shit is happening. So we just need to go through the process and talk to as many people as we can and make sure someone listens eventually, because they will. They have to. They're making themselves look like fools in the middle of a pandemic. So
then I have to ask, how many other clubs were raided alongside of your club last week? Or were you guys the only club that was raided?
I think we're the only one in Victoria. I was told 2 or 3 weeks ago there was one up northern BC. Actually, there was a few up northern BC. They've been active in the last few weeks. My friend's dispensary got raided, northern BC. Again, they took everything, same protocol, but I don't think they reopened. A lot of people get really scared by the CSU and also don't have the funds to reopen. The club has a lot more community support, I feel, than a lot of places. So it's very sad. Once people get raided, they usually shut down.
Is the CSU like you just apply for a job, or is it voted in, or do you have to be some sort of special community? Like, how do they end up on this task force?
I would really love to know the answer to that question, because it seems like a whole bunch of Karens and some guys that got picked last in gym class is what it seems like. So I don't know. They seem like rent-a-cops, mall cops. Like, they don't know anything. They know nothing. The first time they raided us, they had a jar of hash and they're like, what is this? What is this? Is this cannabis? Oh my God. And then literally dumped the jar of hash into a garbage bag of weed. And I was like, thank you. That makes it cheaper for us. Like, fucking idiots.
Oh my
God. Crazy.
Ted actually said something really funny to them. Ted was like, just so you know, I'm going to be selling weed way after your guys' jobs have been abolished, because what you do is bullshit.
Wow.
Like, oh God.
I'm kind of amazed, because I've always pictured Vancouver. Well, we've been out to Vancouver, and just people, when you go to Vancouver, British Columbia, it's a happier place. People are a little bit more friendly. Coming from Ontario, I don't know about the other provinces, but Ontario is a little bit rough. It's fast paced. People don't have as much time to say hi, but Vancouver has always seemed to be like a very friendly, nice place to go throughout the whole community. What I'm hearing now, it seems like craft is under attack.
Craft is very much under attack. And if you guys like Vancouver, you got to come to the island, because we're way nicer over here. But yeah, I wish you guys honestly could have seen the scene like pre-legalization in our province. Pre-legalization was so much fun. There was anything and everything that you could want. Everyone was thriving. Yeah, it was a really interesting like advancement for craft cannabis, and then legalization hit, and everyone had to go back underground. So it's definitely stifled a lot.
Well, the beauty, Jackie and myself are going to soon participating in the Grow Summit. So we're actually going to be like boots on the ground with the beginning, the people that grow the plant, the people that have given people medicine, given people relaxation, de-stressed. The thing that I love and never really gave a much appreciation, which I am now as I'm learning about the plant and to appreciate the growers. So this is to hear what's going on there in Vancouver, what's happening to craft. It kind of breaks my heart. You would love to see more craft inside the legal hemisphere. To work symbiotically would be great, but it's wild. It's crazy.
If we could all just work symbiotically.
Kumbaya, Jackie, kumbaya.
Yeah. Yes, kumbaya, Switzerland, kumbaya. I call it nice.
So, well, yeah, we have craft breweries, so why?
What do you have going on? What are you up to? I saw you were you away at a cottage, camping? You're doing some fun stuff. What is Savvy Stone Girl, cannabis influencer and advocate? What is she up to during COVID?
She was on a boat getting high.
I've been doing a few things. My main goal has been learning how to relax, because I know you just posted about having your first panic attack. That is something that is a constant in my life. I seem always outgoing, whatever the hell you want to call me, but I have constant panic attacks. For example, we went to the beach the other day and my stomach was really sick. I forgot a bit of my food that I had planned out. I have to eat at certain times with my fucking pills. So just everything that could have gone wrong did, and I had a panic attack literally at that lake. Luckily, I had eaten some mushrooms, and the mushrooms took it all away. So, but I wasn't high anymore. But that was the day that I was floating on the tube. So, yeah, I'm just learning to relax. So you can apply. There is a place to apply to get your cannabis back. And if you have a reason that's good enough to get it back, then you can. But it also states clearly that if you're going against regulations, you're not going to get it back. So I don't think we'll ever get it back. But unless we constitutionally challenge the fact that they're taking medicine from sick people, that might be able to. But I don't know how they're going to approach it. We do have a legal team that's just joined on board. That's really fucking good. So I'm sure they're exploring all avenues. I've been away and they're trying not to tell me very much because I get really stressed out and mad. So I don't know exactly what's happening with that, but we're going to try.
Yeah, that's just the compassion for what you do, right? So you're all in.
I know, I try not to, but it was like I got there and it was balls to the walls. Like I was like, Ted, I'm coming back to work. He's like, no, you're not. I'm like, what do you mean? Yes, I am. And he's like, no, you're sick. Like you need to go home. I'm like, yeah, fine.
Well, the guys I work with, they're like, put a diaper on. I'm out front. Come on, let's
go. That's pretty much how I felt. I was like, I'm coming.
Just kidding, Lester. You're not a total ass.
Thank you, Jackie. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thanks for joining us and thanks for sharing what's going on. I hope we get to see each other in person in real life and celebrate some happy times and some positive notes in the community.
Well, I'm sure
definitely we want to
be positive.
Yeah, definitely we want to stay up to par with what's going on with the club. If there's any more of these raids, let us know so we can talk about it, so we can let the people know about it. A conversation, even whether it's good or bad, we need to get some of these things on the table so that we can hear people's points of view. It would be nice if we could hear from the other side. From maybe we should try and do that. See if we can get someone to reach out to this. What is that? CS whatever. CSU. I'd love to hear their perspective. I don't want to just be one-sided, so I'd like to hear what they have to say. Maybe we should see if we can get someone to reach out to them and see if they would like to talk to us in the green room, and we could hit them with some questions.
I would definitely try. I would definitely try. Apparently, they won't talk about VCBC's case because it's an active case. The news reporters were trying to get them to comment on it as well. But if you were to just ask them like questions, I'm sure that would be the best approach because they won't.
Yeah, we just would like general questions: who they are, where they got the power to do what they do. What about warrants? You know, just some basic legal framework questions because it seems like it's grab and go.
And now the time to show up anywhere with the cops if you don't have to. Like, why do they need that presence if they already have authority and if there's somebody whatever? Why do you need to bring the police to somewhere where there's already tensions are high? Why would you bring in some more to escalate it even further?
To make
and why are you wasting taxpayer money during a pandemic? Yeah. Consistently.
On the police.
Hey, listen, it's not the police that we all need to fight. The police are, unfortunately, they're the tool that's used by the municipalities. So once we start focusing our energy on the municipalities and the lawmakers, then we'll all get a lot further ahead. We have to stop the distraction about the police. Unfortunately, I don't like what they do and I don't condone what they do, but they're just the tool of the hand of the municipalities. So we need to put our focus to the municipalities and either get those people out or get new laws changed for the better of everybody. We, the community, meaning every single person out there, we need to find a means to get together on one platform and go against these municipalities because shit, they're only a few hundred in each province, in each country. There's only a few hundred, maybe even if it's a few thousand, but where the countries and these cities and these places, we have millions of us, and we should be able to make a change as long as we all come together is the big note, is what I'm trying to deal with.
Very well said.
Very well said there. He said,
it's the green room. We talk.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for having me.
Oh, hey, thank you for taking the time. If you have, what do you have coming up that you would like to let everybody know?
We will be hosting another rally. I don't have the exact date, but TED's 25th year of cannabis activism is coming up in September. I believe it's September 2nd. So we will be doing a rally in Victoria of some capacity. I will be helping organize that despite everyone wanting me to stay off work. And then after that, there will be further protests, but they're going to be very targeted at what specific government official we need to talk to. So keep following myself, follow the club. And that's pretty much all I got going. I'm just trying to get healthy and keep everyone else healthy.
How's mom?
Mom's good. She's a lot of things changing around here. Me and Tashi are buying a house and mom's moving out on her own soon. So
shooky. Okay.
Yeah.
But you make sure you tell mom we said hi.
I will.
And plug some of your social media so people can find you and get your message.
So follow me at Savvy Stone Girl with 2 V's. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and there's a YouTube page started, but there ain't nothing on there yet. So.
What about TikTok? Is TikToking yet?
Oh, I've been watching it, but my anxiety, I don't know. I'm like, I'm gonna look like a dumbass, which I don't even care if I look like a dumbass, but like super dumb. I gotta get over it.
Yeah, obviously I don't care if I look like a dumbass. Thank you for joining us on the green room.
Oh, I love you.
That's my girl Jackpot. I take it any way it comes, man. It's all good. Yes, Savvy Stone Girl, thank you very much for stepping in the green room. We always love having you here.
Thank you for having me.
And we'll see you soon.
Sounds
good.
Take
care. Thanks for joining us.
Much love. Bye, guys.
Peace. Jackpot?
All right. Yeah. I need to eat a 700 milligram chocolate bar, and that's why I can't come to the studio today.
I get it. It's a tough world, what's going on out here. So many fronts going on, so many emotional things going on. where do you put your focus? I believe that I'm a little old school, so I just believe that the community should be uprising against the municipalities, because the municipalities are who make the rules and govern what we do. And what I'm finding is that they're just coming up with too many bullshit rules, like just too much, and without any accountability, without any responsibility. Like the whole lockdown thing through COVID, that was crazy. I think they need to be scorecarded. And if it's a failure on the scorecard, then we all should get together and boot out whatever municipality leaders that are there that aren't doing the right thing. It's time for us to all be one. Forget race and where the hell you coming from. Let's deal with every day-to-day shit on this rock, because the rules are ridiculous. They're just too much, man. They're too much. And they got us fighting each other where we don't need to be fighting each other. We'd be a lot happier with some simpler rules, and a high emphasis on respect.
High emphasis on respect. I respect you, Lester. You're my
respect you too, Jackie, even though I don't like you.
You're an asshole. That's okay. We can pretend publicly you don't like me. We can go along with the narrative that you're just doing what you got to do, just trotting along. Can't stand her. Don't worry. All the haters just keep over there. Don't worry. He hates me too. Whatever.
Nah, I love you, man. I love you. I love hanging out with you. I like working with you. What's that?
I said your secrets are safe with me, you jackass.
That's good because I write everything down inside the docket, so don't you worry.
Oh God! All right. Well, hey, that was interesting. Listen. That was good. What?
All right. So where Cannabis Talk is always fresh and a little bit
sticky.
You done know. Keep it locked to Cannabis Wiki, the green room. That's Jackpot. This is Lester. My boy on the spot is always on top. Yo, for all my people out there with mental health awareness, good night.
High grade. Strictly high grade. Don't be afraid.
Respect.
We lick the chalice, make the water go he make break us up, me make kick us up. Smoke the